Welcome back to the latest edition of Conference Chatter TV. My name is Eric Sorrentino. I'm the KUSports.com Big 12 blogger, and I'm here to pick the final week of games in the Big 12 this college football season. I can't believe we're finally at the end of the year, but here we are in week 13. I have a 71-20 record, picking at a 78% accuracy rate, and we'll try to improve upon that here in the final week of games in the Big 12. So let's see what we have here on this week's slate. It'll start on Thursday with Texas at Texas A&M at 7 p.m. And this one, A&M has won 2 of the last 3, including the last game played at College Station. But I have to go with Texas on this one. UT still playing for an appearance in the BCS Championship. They have 2 more games to get there. This is the first one. The second one is against Nebraska in the Big 12 Championship game in Arlington. Last year, Texas really dominated this game, 49-9. The teams aren't that much different this year. I know A&M is a little bit better, but the Aggies, as I've documented many times on this blog, are maddeningly inconsistent. So I like Texas, even on the road in this one, to pull it off in College Station. Just, another obstacle on their way to playing in the national championship game. So I like the Longhorns in that one on Thursday. We have another game here before Saturday. It'll be Nebraska at Colorado, 2:30 p.m. on Friday. The Buffaloes at 3-8. This has to be labeled as one of the biggest busts of a season in some time, especially when the goal was 10 wins for Colorado this year. And, I'm definitely going with Nebraska in this. I know they clinched the North already, and so they might not be totally up for this game, but I like Nebraska to win on the road here in Boulder. I would really just not want to be a Colorado fan right now because you're looking kind of past the football season now onto basketball, and it's really not going to get that much better for Buffalo's fans. The basketball team not that much better this year. They could finish last as well. The football team's going to finish last, so they both could finish last in the Big 12. Not a good time for Colorado, and I definitely like Nebraska to prevail in this football matchup on Friday. The rest of the games will take place on Saturday, starting with Oklahoma State at OU at 11:30 a.m. Good news for Oklahoma State. Zach Robinson, the quarterback, expected to start. And this is really the best chance that Oklahoma State has had in some time to beat OU. The Sooners have won the past 6 meetings between these teams, but as we all know, Oklahoma's a little bit down this year. They have not played well outside of Norman, but that's kind of the thing because this one is in Norman, where Bob Stoops is 65-2 in games played in Norman, Oklahoma. I'm going with Oklahoma in this game. Give me that 65-2 record. That's unbelievable. I mean, you could go over a lot of things in this game. There are a couple of intriguing matchups. When you look at something on the outside like a Ryan Broyles against Parrish Cox or something like that, or Oklahoma State's running backs, Keith Toston and Kendall Hunter against that dominating front 4 of Oklahoma. I mean, you can go through all that, and that's up for debate. But what is not up for debate is that OU is 65-2 at home under Bob Stoops. They rarely lose at home under Stoops. I've documented this before on the blog, but I think it's the best home field advantage in the country. And despite the fact that the Sooners are down this year, I'm going to pick them to beat Oklahoma State. One thing to keep in mind, particularly for Cowboys fans, is that Oklahoma State, with this game, is playing for a spot in a BCS bowl game. With a victory here in Oklahoma, I think that would go a long way in getting an at-large bid to represent the Big 12 in a BCS game. Texas obviously will fill one spot, and that might be it. That might not be it if Oklahoma State wins this game. If they do, they could have a nice chance at BCS at-large, but I'm going with Oklahoma, going with the home team here in that 65-2 advantage that Bob Stoops has there in Norman. Next on Saturday will be Missouri at Kansas. Wow. 2:30 p.m. in Kansas City, Missouri. This is tough. This is very tough to pick. This could go either way. It's really been easy to pick against Kansas the last few weeks during their 6-game losing streak. I've mostly done that. But if there was ever a time for KU to kind of give it their all, it's this game. They are playing first for a berth in a bowl game. Kansas is also playing for its embattled coach, Mark Mangino, who's recently been the subject of an internal investigation by the Kansas Athletics Department. And Kansas is playing Missouri. Motivation enough there for the Jayhawks. In the past, that's meant, KU players, even if they could barely walk, they have suited up and played in this game. Think Jake Sharp and think Kerry Meyer last year. They both did that for KU. KU's playing for an awful lot. Missouri playing great right now. They've won 3 of their last 4, but they've already secured a bowl. KU's playing for a lot more. Todd Reesing has been playing better lately. And as I've said before, anything can happen in the Big 12 North. I'm taking Kansas in this game to barely edge Missouri at Arrowhead Stadium. Even against Missouri, a team that's hot right now, a team that has the best receiver in the Big 12 in Denario Alexander. They've won 3 of the past 4, as I said. I think that Kansas is playing for a ton right now, and I think Mangino, who knows if this will be his last game? It probably will, for all accounts. That's kind of what's been out there. I don't know anything in particular about it myself, but from all that I've read and all that I've heard, this may be the last game for Coach Mark Mangino. I think that he really has Kansas ready for this game. I think they rally around that cause. I think Kansas wins in Arrowhead against Missouri. It'll be close. I still don't know if I like that pick. I really don't. It could go either way, but I don't know. Why not the Jayhawks in this one? Finally, Texas Tech at Baylor at 5 p.m. Last game of the day for the Big 12 there. I'm going with Texas Tech. I mean, not much to say about this. Tech, they've looked a lot better under a rejuvenated Taylor Potts at quarterback. Baylor, they're not going to make a bowl this year. They have really struggled this season, of course, without Robert Griffin. And I think Texas Tech will win that game handedly in Waco. So that should take care of it, guys, for the final week. I am Eric Sorrentino, KUSports.com, Big 12 blogger. I'll be back, as always, on the weekend to reflect on the games. Maybe I'll say how stupid that Kansas pick was over Missouri. Maybe I'll say how brilliant it was. I don't know. Hopefully it's a good pick along with the others. So we'll be back, and we'll be back then on the weekend. Hope everybody has a nice Thanksgiving, and I will talk to you guys this weekend. Thanks a lot.